One, and you should be going.
Tonight on Oathbound roads, the unbowed have found themselves in company that a mere sun opened before. They likely wouldn't have thought to have been friendly. After arriving at the coastal town of Coswall and engaging in a brief chase with the two judges of the Ion Reich that had taken up roost there, they engaged in a pitched battle in a burning forest. And in the aftermath encountered a target they'd been hunting for well over a month at this point. 4 months, if you count the time in Foregone.
Uh,
4 months and 4 gone.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it, Raven.
Yep. Low-hanging fruit is the sweetest.
Ah.
The Dark Wolf, leader of a mysterious guerrilla band of skin changers and other freedom fighters, revealed himself and was able to provide adequate enough proof that he was Garm's birth father. Overjoyed at the sight of his son who had been missing for 25 years, they departed quickly and quietly to their camp, wherein there was a lot of information shared. The Dark Wolf proved very amiable and very willing to share what he knew, seeing potential allies in the mercenary band. And they, in part, shared what they knew as well. And as he left them for the night to get what rest they were able to, they were left to think about what came next. What's changed for them? What earth-shattering knowledge had been dropped upon them?
Yeah. It just recontextualizes like half the world. It's fine.
So remember, kids, if a mysterious old man werewolf shows up and tries to offer you information, you should follow them to places. It might change your life.
You might even have candy.
I mean, it definitely
Might even
changed
have
that.
beer.
It changed
Ain't
that
that right?
last time it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't that right, nobody? They might have beer.
Yeah.
So much fucking beer. Yeah.
Lara also got drunk.
Potentially the most you've seen anyone drink ever.
You're
going to have to deal with that. Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
You're even more flammable than normal.
Oh, we'll
Just
talk
like-
about that. There's going to be some potentially unique effects here. All right,
Awesome.
so either way, the unbowed have been left to their own devices. It's gone quiet around this strange camp of skin changers. Just hear the occasional movement outside, the crackling of a fire dying down. And that's the sounds of the wind rustling through the spruce trees, and beyond that, very little. So, now that you're all alone and in your little sleepover space, decided to sleep over at Garm's dad's house for the weekend.
House is a bit of a stretch. Nobody has
Come on,
made
house.
their blanket pile.
It is a trailer.
Yeah. We're a bunch of rednecks trying to fight the government.
It's literally what they are.
It's a double wide.
Fancy.
Not good if you get hit by a tornado.
Along the coast, it'd be a typhoon.
Well, tornadoes do happen over water. They just pick up water and become weird.
Yeah, water spouts. They look like something out of
Yeah.
an analog horror short. Anyways,
I love analog horror.
what y'all doing? You gonna talk about secrets? Gonna talk about your feelings and your cute boys?
Absolutely not.
Hey, that guy, the breaker, he's pretty cute, right?
God damn it.
Bit of a bar, don't you think?
Wow.
Sorry, I'm not into bears.
Breaking over his knee.
But no,
I would thank them.
see, I had a realization between sessions, but I'm trying to think how Garm comes to that same conclusion. But in the silence, it's just like, it was a lot.
It's
Uh,
That's an understatement, Garm.
It was unexpected, to say the least.
yeah,
Tell me about it.
Hildegard. I thought meeting your brother was going to be the most shocking family reunion to happen today. This is still the same day, I think.
It's technically the next day, but it's like 4 in the morning.
We
true.
hadn't slept yet, so to us it's the same day.
Yes. Same wakefulness.
Maybe my father will come flying above the camp. Then we can make it a party.
I don't think that's the kind of party that we're going to want, actually, so let's not.
How are you taking all this, Garm?
It's a lot.
Could reach out and just pat his shoulder lightly.
I still don't know what to believe.
Midge is still here, right?
Sure.
Oh,
Yes,
sorry.
Midge is just kind of nestled over in a corner herself.
Mm-hmm. Though it sure would be convenient, wouldn't it? To just accept all this.
Well,
It-
until they do anything that it tips their hand, we have to take them at their word.
Not convenient for them. They had us dead to rights back there. There was no way we were going to get out of that. I mean, convenient for me to believe all this.
Yes, Warthog.
I mean, I was going to broach that topic a little more subtly, but yeah, that's what I was going to suggest.
They're drunk.
Yeah.
It would be convenient, wouldn't it? Just to not have to kill my own kind.
If
To find out your family is alive and well and actually cares about you? Imagine that.
if nothing else, Biter seems to vouch for him in his own way.
That he does.
I'm right here.
I'm aware.
You know,
To
for
reach
a
over-
wolf, you're good at keeping your mouth shut.
You know, the howling thing's a bit of a stereotype.
Have we ever heard him howl?
No, you haven't.
When he speaks up, Hildegard will reach over and pet the wolf.
And it would be convenient for me to think that, for what all I've believed my life to be a curse is in fact a blessing. And it would be sure convenient that this terrible monster king that I thought would be a difficult hunt, in fact, doesn't want to fight at all.
I mean,
In fact, he seems to be my superior in many regards.
well, that's a shitty way of putting it.
That's just a statement of fact. He's older,
Is it though?
more experienced,
Just
and more responsibilities upon his shoulders.
squints at nobody's like, you came from a caste society. This should be normal.
He is higher on the food chain, as it were.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It would be nice to believe that we're on the same side, though. Looks to Vara. There still has to be some kind of credit to your vision.
Well, as you've seen, and as I've tried to caution everybody, they're not exactly solid.
No,
All
they appear-
divination
Prophecy-
is open to interpretation. It's just
Exactly.
Not to mention, you don't even really know who you're getting it from.
I sure don't. Thank you for giving me another thing to think about, asshole.
You're welcome. I prefer things
Yeah.
I can kill.
Still, I'm worried. Just him going to Galmada amidst all of that. And Kelbin spies, conflict between the noble houses and the Olgir clans. The Reich clearly moving in.
I don't
And now
know.
he wants to try and revive an old legend. I don't see how it...
He stops, thinks for a second, immediately grabs Vara's shoulders.
Vara,
Oh, hi. Yes. What?
your vision. Your vision of him becoming the thrice accursed king. In that vision, he bore a blade. I need you to remember, what did it look like? Does it match the blade he carried tonight?
Did it, DM?
It actually did.
It matches.
Large,
the one-
curved, and inscribed with giant runes.
It matched.
Hmm.
Yes. Runes and gemstones. I remember now.
So.
The Sun Eater's gemstone. You told us the blade had the energy of the sun about it.
Did.
And he's
So
now
what you're saying
carrying
is
the heart of a Sun Eater.
We need to separate him from the sword and the heart.
I don't...
Or it could be as simple as warning him not to merge the two.
That you saw what the gem looked like. It was corrupted.
Corrupted enough that when the Sun Eater died, it didn't die the way a Glamour Lord would.
What if
That's
by
what
continue to
fell in it.
using the... In the vision, he bore the helmet of a judge. What if he has to fight another one and he keeps filling that gem until something goes wrong?
The corruption came from the Sun Eater eating so many Fellspawn it found throughout Breveland.
Yes.
The
Or
corruption
if there's a way
growing.
to extract that from the gem itself and leave the judge's essence contained.
Or
Could the could the fell essence be growing within the gem? Otherwise, I'd imagine the judge's essence would counter it to some extent.
It's
Clearly
light versus
not.
light.
Moriel said that the Hyphenim themselves were created to feed upon and defeat the Fell. It might be worth introducing them to your dad. Vask
Maybe,
gestures
but
vaguely with the stem of his pipe.
don't forget, that thing's full of sunlight now. And isn't that poisonous to you? Or, them?
The fell.
Yeah, which is why I'm surprised as well as they are that I'm not. That Rask doesn't seem to take much of an offense to me. Now that I'm both Hyphenim, apparently, and fell-blooded. Or whatever you call this.
It may be that you just haven't been changed yet. Or remember, Rask views the world through his eye. If you do not appear to be fell, he just may look you over.
If it were that easy, I feel like that would have happened already.
Who's to say it hasn't?
Remain here. I need to ask him some questions.
leave the tent.
Before you leave, she is gonna grab your arm and remind you. Again, give him warnings. Don't take it all seriously, or word for word, because remember what it told us to do with the hyphenem.
Yeah.
We did ask a very open-ended question with that one, though.
We did, but all questions can be considered open-ended when you don't know where your answers are coming from.
And not to mention every single folk tale that one often meets their destiny on the road they take to avoid it.
She's gonna sigh and go, my luck, now that you've brought up I don't know where the answers are coming from, it's coming from the goddamn moon that doesn't particularly enjoy.
That's my chief concern. It was during the red moon.
Are you saying this could be a romantic, jealousy thing?
I better not be
From
a fucking
what-
pawn in a goddamn romance.
That seemed to be the implication. Just... It would not surprise me if Karn, if she is apparently so jealous, decides to break Gortog's champion at the moment of his victory.
And it was the blood moon that sent Louis Sant and his pack into madness because they had it was able to, within them, or the corruption within them was able to flourish.
I must go.
No,
Well,
he's
we-
likely sleeping, right?
Yeah, talk to him in the morning.
I don't know where he's gone.
Exactly. You
You
don't know
want
where
me
he
to-
is.
You want me
He
to find
said-
out?
Well, he said he was going to go to your sisters and,
I
Bunk
must
up
speak
with
with
the
her as
grandkids.
well.
I
remember him saying
yes,
something about
wake
the
her up at
grandkids.
4 in the morning and talk to her. That seems like a great idea.
Sleep, farm. I know your brain is going a mile a minute, but we've been through a lot today. We're all quite injured and exhausted. Sleep. Pushing yourself and your state is just going to lead things to snap.
He'll sit down.
Spider comes over and very forcibly lays his head down at large size on your lap.
Aw.
That's one way to keep him from running off.
Dog is closer. Dog is closer. Must pet more.
Well, since he's not going anywhere fast, he might as well start petting Biter behind the ears in a something that's meant to comfort him as much as himself.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Good. Good night.
Before we go to bed, may I just say something real quick? Sorry.
Of course. No.
It
course,
won't take
Elgard.
any amount of your time.
No, don't take it like that. I'm just tired.
It-
Please,
since-
go.
Since it's been basically taken from me, I may as well introduce myself properly, or guess who I was. It doesn't matter. I am Hildegard von Lowe, and I guess I'm meeting all of you properly.
Were you
Well,
I've
royalty?
always been Hildegard.
No, a lesser noble. I
You and
didn't-
Duvar are in the same boat.
think he's a few rungs above me, but I don't know.
Well, not anymore.
She's gonna wince at that slightly and say,
I was under the assumption I was banished from my household for quite a while, which is why I didn't use their name,
Why would you be banished?
because I failed. My
Yeah.
my
Alright.
family holds piety very important to them. Many of us are warriors of various gods, or clerics, or clergy, and as far as I know, I'm the only one to have ever lost that. And like I said, I don't think I have the right to that name anymore. Though maybe Godfried is not aware. I don't. It doesn't matter. Point is, I didn't want to hide that from you all.
Is that
So-
something they told you or something you assumed?
Exactly what I was going to ask.
They stopped paying for my medical treatments and left me in some random village. I'm assuming that's as clear a message as can be given.
Nobody hisses.
And sorry, anyways, good night.
No, it's
Don't apologize for
Hildegard.
other people treating you badly.
That's kind of the realization I've had about every one of us in this little group of the Unbowed, that we all have someone in our past, someone that should have looked after us, that failed us. And it's not our fault. It's not your fault.
she doesn't say anything to that, but she does kind of look in Vast's vague direction because she is currently birdless.
But you're not, how do I word this? You have your, oh god damn it, you have your chest eyes.
She does not use that, like especially not for something like this. If there was an
Okay.
emergency, she would be forced to use it. She's not
There's
gonna-
always that would lead to the unfortunate possibility of looking up and seeing the underside of your own chin as you're speaking.
Yeah. She's not going to thrust out her chest to try and see people she's sitting with. It's fucking
Yeah.
dumb.
I know you're thinking of her just like leading with her chest when she does that, but I'm just imagining the Keaton Batman where he has to turn his whole body because he can't
Oh my
move his
God.
neck.
It's probably very much like that.
Need to go find D&D Morgan Freeman. Just you want to be able to turn your head.
Anyways,
Well, I recommend a good travel agent. Oh, I watched that movie way too many times. All right.
Mhm.
so
Oh
she's-
god. Sorry. My youngest brother can literally quote the from beginning to end the Dark Knight trilogy from all of it.
Yeah, I was one of those kids too. All right, so there's nothing else. Are you guys going to attempt long enough to get a short rest, or just try to rise at the dawn? Because exhaustion is a very real risk if you do that. I will not lie.
Yeah.
What were you
that
saying,
just-
I was gonna say just real quick last thing, burn a spell slot since we're going to rest anyways. Flock of familiars have them, fly around and basically aid Raug in looking for possible dad 2.
Okay.
That'd be dad number 1, thank you. He
Well,
was the father who stepped up.
No,
Is
see,
he? Oh yeah, he is.
you thought he
is.
was dad number 1, but you realize now he is actually dad 2 because there was a time where you were with dad 1.
Hmm.
It's true. Yeah, yeah.
There's
And he didn't.
brief
He didn't
moment.
abandon you. You were taken from him.
Yeah, which
Still
where's
need to
Mom?
ask about that. Yeah.
My dad didn't abandon me. He just sent me away.
He didn't
Send me to a
know.
farm upstate.
My dad didn't
Wow.
abandon me. My
That is-
mother
Oh my
kidnapped
God.
me.
That is more or less what he did to Garm.
It's not though. You got kidnapped.
No, what
No,
Hernan did to
I'm
Not
referring to
dad, other
Hernan.
dad. Gotcha.
Yeah, he sent you to a farm upstate.
which was a Brana.
Hmm. The ass end of nowhere.
Preferably enough to get a short rest.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I can try and get a long rest. That wouldn't be too hard.
Long rest requires days of rest and no
Short rest
activity.
is
Okay,
He's
we
a
wake up in
warlock.
the we
I
wake
mean
up in
long-
the afternoon and Hildegard's just in a coma.
I mean long rest in the terms of, an all-night sleep.
Yeah.
You know, it occurs to me that most warlocks get their powers back after a short rest. Does this mean a lot of warlocks are insomniacs?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
why do you think the term coffee lock exists?
Rayan very nearly became one.
They're strung out.
Yeah. So, does that mean like your once per long rest things that come back every week, rather?
Unusually. Depends. It's going to be case by case.
Okay, then I need to be careful with what resources I use then.
Burning your big stuff fighting that judge was not a bad move, all things considered. But anyways,
Yeah, no, I'm not like saying that like, but I just clicked the button to refresh a bunch of things, so I did.
Short rest it is.
mhm.
Earl of Powers still here. I don't think I used Dragon Breath. Yeah.
All right. So with a short rest, you guys will wake up about mid-morning.
Let me roll some hit die.
Yeah.
Yes, you can roll hit die. Do your stuff.
It's only like about.
Oh my god!
It's only
That makes sense.
about like that.
All right.
Oh
So
my God.
nobody. I
Yeah.
am going to need you to roll a con save for me as well because you definitely drank enough to get drunk. We need to
Okay.
see if that's going to have lingering effects. 17. Okay. Okay. Hangover's not as bad as you feared it would be,
Okay.
but it's still there a little bit. It will impact certain things at certain times. Also, you have one extra charge of your fire breath, but you have no control over when it's going to go off.
Oh no!
Ah.
Oh
That's
no!
pretty good, actually.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll more.
104 out of
trying math.
112.
I'm gonna roll more. I'm just trying to math currently. Okay, God, I definitely gotta roll more. I took some damage.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like you were a tank or something.
Yeah, I'm doing my job. Oh my
Oh, yeah,
god!
and because Vask didn't cook last night, we don't get his chef's bonus of +1 per hit die spent.
Thank you.
12.
Excuse me.
How fitting.
Luckily, the
God,
the healing
God.
got me up to full, so I don't have to spend any.
Let's see, how many have I rolled? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I can't
Four.
forget about that ability. I keep forgetting sorcerers now I have.
Yeah, the new
Sorcerer
level
Rage.
1. Yep.
Yeah.
2 12s.
Cool. I'm almost good again. One more should be enough to get me to a good spot. Yeah.
Now, speaking of things that recharge on a
Good
long
Lord.
rest,
Yeah.
it says for the innate sorcery thing, you can use the feature twice and you gain all expended uses of when you finish a long rest. Is that also for still the week-long long rest, or could I argue
I would
that
say,
for...
given that frequent combat has not been the most common thing in this campaign with the way it's been paced so far, that the weekly schedule still should apply for that one. I may change my mind
Okay.
later if I feel it's off, but we'll see. All right, so get some soundscapes going.
So if anyone's still hurt, I do have my spell stored item.
I would take some.
Alright, good morning.
So, have we woken up yet?
Yeah, you guys are waking up.
So Vask was actually going to try to see if he could have a dream conversation with Moriel now that they're linked, or see if he could
Mhm.
connect to the Hyphenem network instead of having to use spending every time he wants to contact them.
All right. Noted. I will say, make a charisma check. Tapping
Okay.
into your internal magic a little. 16, okay.
60.
All right. Since I will say that this night, attempting that, trying to consciously do that while dreaming is not very easy. You do wake up with a faint sense that at the very least you actually did make contact with something. Not enough to get a full thing yet, but with enough practice and time and like intent behind it, you should be able to unlock being able to dream speak with them.
Okay.
Did I have any weird dreams?
Not this time. Most
Okay.
of y'all are pretty dead dog
Might have
tired.
been too blackout
Yeah.
drunk.
Yeah, and blackout drunk helps too. So yeah, you wake up, nobody, your head is a little painful, and most times when you talk, if you start talking too loud, you notice that fire and sparks come out of your mouth a little easier than they normally do.
Awesome.
Those muscles are a little loose.
Uh-oh.
Did last night happen, or did I dream that?
Oh, yes.
How much did I drink?
Just points over. Just points over at the pile of empty bottles.
I'm sure it's fine. As sparks come out of their mouth. Everyone else awake?
As far as I know.
Hey Mitch, how you holding up?
I don't know if I'm ready to answer that yet.
Think that's fair?
I think Vask gets ready to load his morning tobacco pipe. Then he pauses when he sees how flammable nobody is, and just rethinks it.
Nobody takes their armor and adjusts. They take actually no. To be good for characters. So what's the plan for today?
You can hear outside that there is a good-sized flurry of movement. Not like frenzied or like people panicking and running around, but you can hear things being picked up, things being moved.
All right, I'm gonna go ask.
Yeah, he's getting up. He's gonna be the first one out.
I'll follow.
Hildegarde's going to stay in the tent. Sorry.
Yep, go ahead. I'll express your intent, everybody. Intent. Your intent is to stay intent.
Nobody's gonna head out and just grab
Okay, so-
someone who looks important.
Okay.
Find the
Gonna
breaker.
be Vargas, one of his kids. Well, I guess his daughter, her husband, Breaker.
All right.
They're legitimately interested in talking to Breaker, by the way.
Okay. Well, most of the people you see around are just some of the assorted just members of the group, nobody you recognize right away. They are all very clearly and transparently packing up the camp. They are moving with a very organized step to them. If you wish to look around and try to find them or stop and help, your choice.
I want to look first.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I would be looking for Vargas and Manha as well.
All right. So I'll
I
also
roll
state.
a perception or
Yeah, perception helps.
Alrighty.
Midge, not long after going out, starts walking off on her own. Soft 20? Okay. It is not hard to find Vargas once you start listening. He is, barking commands from over near the edge of the camp, overseeing where things are going.
Okay.
His voice carries very far.
Garm, this way.
Biter also follows along.
Mm-hmm.
One thing you notice is that a sizable chunk of the werewolves stop and bow their heads at him as he passes.
Oh, I'm sure he's loving the attention.
The tail is wagging a little.
Are there changeling? I know we saw changelings last night, but are they
Yep.
here like out and out?
Yes.
Wow.
They're helping move. There's a few of them here and there. They're helping move things around.
I mean, when you are a werewolf, I think being a changeling is lower on the list of, oh god, hide it!
Yeah, but it's just, we've never seen them just like be out.
You certainly haven't, because you're not a changeling. Have never been to their conclaves.
Yeah, but that doesn't count because that's literally their safe place.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's a safer place than having 100 werewolves at your back?
Fair point. Vargas.
Ah. Good. Wondered when you'd rise. Was a long night. You rest well. You look a little rattled in the...
I might have drank in a bit too much.
You cleared out half our store, kid.
Mm.
Though I'll fully admit it makes it easier to move it.
Just gonna lightly elbow nobody.
The tail rattles a little.
It's like, oh, don't hit me in the tummy. I had too much alcohol.
Don't push me.
Elbow them too hard, and you're gonna flamethrower whoever's in
Fire.
front of you.
Yeah, if you do that too hard, Garm, I might light something on fire.
That's why I only nudged you lightly. It seems you're moving camp.
Aye. We're gonna have to the moment the fires spread. That's why I gave him one night to celebrate beforehand. There's no hiding the fires we lit.
I confide in you some concerns.
Of course. Anything. Is this... It's a good spot, or do you prefer somewhere a little more private?
This will do well enough. Won't take you away. It's just, how much do you know about the situation in Gomada?
Enough, I suppose.
The situation in Gomada? Well, I guess besides the Reich moving in.
The Reich moving in, but there's also been conflict between the Olgier tribes and the noble houses.
Now, that's been going on for centuries, boy. It's nothing new.
Nothing new, but when we attended a State of the Realm earlier this year, it was brought up.
What's the State of the Realm?
It's just a general get-together for errands to get them to know the lay of the land. What's
Where
been
to
going
go
on.
and what not job. Where to go for finding work and where not to find work.
Yes, and we happen to know, too, that there are Ankelban spies in Gomada. At least one.
Again, Ankelba has spies in every land, boy. But I appreciate your concern.
It's just... Well, that
Come
seems
on,
like
Garm.
a great powder keg you're walking into.
Just kind
No,
of gestures at himself for a moment. Pretty sure I exploded a long time ago.
This time nobody nudges you. Come on. Get up.
Just be careful of using that gem, alright?
Jim?
The
Oh.
heart.
Yes. I'm aware of the risks. It's hungry.
If it wasn't necessary for killing a judge, I'd even say get rid of it.
Give it to Vask, you hear
That's the
whispered in
ultimate
your
plan.
brains.
I punch my brain.
But do you think it's a coincidence, the size of this camp and how long it will take to quickly and discreetly move across the countryside, that you will arrive by the lake by the next red moon?
Across the... Oh, I suppose I never told you. Boy, we're not crossing country. Crossing realms.
All of you?
What?
Oh, that's how they moved the army so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
I told you. I'm a champion of a former glamour lord. I know how to pass through it.
And
I
you're
can take a
bringing
lot of things with me if it comes down to it.
Vask, who kind of hung around and is just kind of to the back, just letting the rest of them talk, is just like, I meant to ask, was the Star Stalker Gortog's name back when he was a glamour lord?
No, he was simply known as the King of the Hunt.
Ah!
Ah, okay.
Starstalker came later, and admittedly he liked it a lot. And Biter
I
just
suppose that
chimes
would.
in. That's true.
Suppose that was the name that came after the fell.
Well then,
I'm sorry. Continue.
He steps
clearly-
forward a little bit. There's a smile there. You can very clearly, no insight required, read it as a, oh, my son cares about me kind of thing.
Yeah.
I do not disregard your caution, boy. I don't. Believe
Aye.
me, I've had to watch my back my whole life. Not careless.
aye.
Watch with the heart. The sword. Your sword was apparently a part of this vision, and the red moon.
The Red Moon is certainly something I have to be aware of. You would be surprised what I have to do on that night. In case you saw what form I can take.
Yeah, I've never seen
Yeah.
a werewolf or anything. I've never seen. I've never seen someone transform into something like that. Which, admittedly, my sample size is rather small, but
Not the biggest I've ever met. But aye, it's a risk. It is. Night of the Red Moon, I go to an island. Or I just hop realms entirely for a time.
Does Karn reach you there?
She tries. Go to an island and wrap myself in cold iron chains.
ooh,
Alright.
But your caution is warranted, boy, it is. I make grand moves on a grand scale. I'm going to attract attention from things that'll make them all think that it's the perfect time to make their move.
doesn't help that you now got a bomb in your backpack.
Aye, the heart was not a perfect solution. I know full well its essence. I wasn't even entirely sure it would work. Confident enough, but
If any of your camp is able, you may wish to study it further.
we're not wizarding sorts, really.
I'd study it if I had the.
You're
Right,
also
but-
traveling in the company of the creature that had originally resided within, and who'd gladly eat it and become the very same thing I had to put down.
That is very
Aye.
true.
Well, might I know where Manha is? I would like to
She's
s-
watching after the bairns,
I would
taking
like to
their
speak
morning
with her.
nap. Oh, rightly.
So,
Don't
my
approach her
dear
from
is-
behind.
Oh, I do have some selfish questions.
Feeling
She's your
I
sister
understand.
arm.
We won't leave for a few hours yet.
We need to make our own preparations, so it's best to get it done now.
Of course. I'd like to speak again before we depart, but I understand.
Firstly, Mother Wolf, how did she become involved with Gortog?
Well, I told him the story when I was trapped in the Glamourlands. About the Moorwolves finding her, making contact. What little I could gather from my own experiences, my own changes. He sympathized. Traveled across realms. We found her. We brought her back. It wasn't really a good point to bring it out, but there was a rather concerning element to finding her.
What's that?
I don't know why or what led the Humes into Hallowheim long ago. They came prepared for the cold. I know that much. In the realm that we found her in, not much left but cold.
Secondly, then,
Of course, anything.
I know it doesn't please you, but curiosity compels me. Your first curse was becoming a werewolf, your second curse was apparently losing me. What was the third?
Third was when I marched in, attempted to gather the Sarkozy to my side. The Beargrave tribe resisted more than any other. They remembered my past sins. Well, survivors, deep-seated grudges. They're likely the ones who carved that stone you found.
Yeah.
Not all of them, I might say. Several did join along with me because, well, as I mentioned, the Reich took a lot of tribes completely out over the winter to supply their trek through this mire.
Yeah.
People don't pay much attention to the folk that live out on the edges.
That's why I can't come with you, ultimately. Every time I've run into civilizations, at least one person has commented that no one's seen my kind in these parts. They've gotten used to not being protected. So
Does
I'm
he
doing
look
good work.
proud at this?
You can roll an insight check if you want.
I do.
DC is going to be a little for you because you are hungover a tiny bit, but we'll see.
Yeah. Can't read your dad.
All right,
Yeah.
10. This man is inscrutable.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's like, is you looking at watching this conversation, but then puts a hand to their head for a second.
I know losing me was painful, and the life I was brought up in wasn't exactly comfortable. But I have to believe that Mother did this for a reason. And that Gortog allowed it to happen for a reason. You heard Biter. He was keeping an eye on me all my life.
Yes. Yes, he was.
You have your missions, and I have... Though it seems that Even separated, our fate is the same. To hunt stars and gods.
Just gently, very gently punches the bottom of the hand onto the breastplate of your armor.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I could ever view you as a father. That bond exists between child and man. You and I, we meet as men. It is as
Indeed.
you said, you are a stranger to me, so I will judge you as such. You've been a courteous host. You seem to be a good leader. And if what you say is true, your cause is just. For what it's worth, if Gortog did not require me elsewhere, I'd be tempted to join your fight, blood relation or no.
And that's enough for me.
He'll
Believe
offer
me.
an arm shake.
Oh, he accepts it.
May your strike be as sure as the night is dark.
Fuck him up.
All right.
Oh, God damn it.
Which direction is Mana?
Oh, follow the sounds of the screams and protests of small children who don't want to nap, even though they were up very late.
I hope it didn't scare them too much.
Nothing scares them.
You don't
They
think
just
his
made a
lead-
tactical retreat to scheme their next move. Don't be surprised if you find a live rat in your armor later.
Ooh, a goodie. They must love me.
Yeah.
The snake. Mm.
A snack.
Yeah.
Boy,
Oh, you didn't.
I am a stranger to you. But you're my son to me.
Oh.
Though I don't hold your order, I don't hold your order in particularly high regard, but you do them honor.
God, nobody has a
Thank
very
you.
conflicted look on their face right now.
I wonder why.
And honestly,
Yeah.
I may have been robbed a chance to be your father. But well, I like what I see of you as a man.
And so far, I like what I'm becoming.
Aw.
Don't ever let them break that. Don't ever let anything break that. Remember, you're not cursed. You're blessed.
Yeah. I've come to a similar conclusion already. Thanks to him.
Just nudges Biter with his foot.
He's a persuasive sort. Once he finally got talking.
Have you two met before?
Not personally. I've seen star wolves moving about hither and thither in the night before. Had them serve as messengers, but you I don't recognize. I've been a little busy, Ryder says.
All right. I'll try and locate Mana.
All right. I'll get back to overseeing operations.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody
Alright.
does not leave.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you're
Isabella.
going to...
Yeah, nobody wants to talk to him.
Okay. We'll do that while you go off to look for your sister. You
at
lost?
least- No. Well, yes. But that's not why I'm here. They just look him up and down. not sure how I feel about you. I desire to believe you. I'm not sure if I can trust that.
Conflict within, eh?
I've recently abandoned my own oaths to my home. They're seeing what they could become. And realizing how little I am truly cared for, if at all.
What are you seeking from this?
I don't know.
Well, you're in search of answers. I'll tell you what works for me.
All right.
I know a thing or two about a conflict within. Dueling natures that don't always agree. Little voices that say to go one way and then another. You can't afford to be your own enemy. Tear yourself apart if your foundation's crumbled like that. Times like that, he walks forward, realizes he can't very easily reach the top of your head.
Nobody will crouch down a little.
Thank you. I was about to shift. Points out a clawed hand. You really realize that his hands do not look human at all. Taps you
Yeah.
right on the brow ridge of your scales. Don't trust here. Here hates you sometimes. You can. Gently punches in the stomach. Trust there.
Oh, careful with all the alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
you
a little...
belch out a little bit of fire from that.
May lose its eyebrows.
It's like, you may trust here, punch. Brrr. Not today, though.
Like, his fur just grows back instantly.
So this is all I've ever had. That's truly my own. They tap, where their heart is. This was owned by somebody. They reach down and tap the prosthetic. This was owned by somebody. They tap some of the scars. This was owned by somebody. And they tap their head. This is all that's been truly mine.
I'm hearing a lot of was in there.
I'm trying to find my own.
Well, your head trips over itself. Your gut keeps you alive. Your gut makes the split-second calls when it matters. Your head second guesses and third guesses. If your head's not reliable, trust something else for a time. It'll sort itself out, or maybe it'll get jealous.
Maybe.
What do I know? Not exactly a brainy sort. I honestly still struggle to write letters. It's not exactly gotten easier either.
They look at his hands. I imagine not.
You know, most folk with our inclination, we do have our own struggles.
Of course. I don't.
My memory fails me at times.
You are older than most mortals.
It has nothing to do with that. It's just the nature of having two minds. They're in concert, but sometimes it can be difficult to pay attention. Sometimes it can be difficult to focus. Sometimes I can go and I can realize that I don't remember something that I really wished I did.
I see.
If you're lost, you've got your gut. And if you don't trust that, you got them. Lone wolf dies alone.
Mm.
It's an old saying.
They look just in a direction Garm went. He offered me a hand when I was at my lowest. I intend to repay that kindness.
I hope you do.
This world has been too cruel to him.
It has. Take care of him, please. He's a strong one. I can sense it. But I was that age once.
I was that age once.
Shoulders aren't meant to bear burdens for that long. They bow and stoop and then they break. You carry a chip for too long, it eventually builds up to a fucking boulder.
Like Breaker.
Yes. The has he? Did he tell you what their band is called?
I
The
don't.
Unbowed.
Oh, yeah, sure, mentioned that. Well, there's two different ways you can go about that. You can be unbowed in that you think you could stand up against an overwhelming force forever, which you can't. Or you can be unbowed because you shrug off the things you don't need to carry. I make that sound easy. It's not. I've lived a long time and I had my years of anger. Hells did I. Did you get past them if you're assuming you'll live?
I'm already old.
But you're not dead.
Starting. I'm not. Not yet.
Well, then you still got more living to go.
I do. I do.
If you need something really greasy for that hangover, we've got some grease still sitting about from the meat last night.
God, that might make me explode.
All right, the fire breath.
You should.
Accidentally and oh god, this is how nobody accidentally invents napalm.
Oh no! I'm just imagining like kobold jackass.
Oh no! Oh no!
Fortunate son starts playing.
Just the poor
You-
kobold who thinks I feel great, and then he just explodes.
Do you have anything that could use my expertise before you head out?
What's your expertise?
I'm an artificer.
I
I
don't know what
create
that is.
magical items. I can replicate magic through technology.
I'll think about it. Most of what we have here isn't particularly complicated.
You did promise him a better map.
Oh yeah. Oh, your map.
Aye,
Do you only have the one, or
we do.
if you give me some time, I might be able to add some annotations.
I'm gonna roll for him for that one. Make a
Fuck's
persuasion check. You are hungover right now, and it's not hard to hide.
Yeah.
13. All right.
Wow.
That is incredible,
How is your
actually.
persuasion that high?
Expertise, motherfucker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
My proficiency bonus to do that.
They're a spy. They're
All right.
they're supposed to get things out of people.
Yeah, fair.
All right. His dumb ass believes you. Just... All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, why don't you head back to the tent, grab our maps, and give him an updated version of the Golmaden.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about that. Like
Yeah.
they
There you
they are proficient in cartography's tools, so they know how to do it. But like we
Yep.
have maps that are very up to
Yep.
date.
You are a blue collar worker. I'm sure this is not the first time you've gone to work hungover.
Oh, God.
It might be actually. It might be.
Oh, were you the golden child then?
Most drakes don't really partake. They're
Yeah.
expected to be on peak performance at all times. Kobolds, on the other hand, they'll go get smashed after their shift's over.
Oh, I have a less serious. Well, I suppose serious, but in different ways. I suppose.
Aye.
Do you know anything about the Reich's boats?
The ships
they're
that
made
they've been
of?
building
Yeah.
are the local lumber, iron nails. I don't know much about shipbuilding.
I know lumber. That's good. Lumber. I can deal with that.
There's plenty of trees around here. What are you thinking about?
This, they tap their armor. I don't use it very much, but I can alter its form, its function. You saw last night one of its more combat-oriented shapes.
I'm not going to
Rough
pretend to
road.
understand the first thing you mean about that, but if you think you can do something,
I
we
can
mostly
alter it
just
to
did.
be stealthy.
That seems
And
impossible, but after everything that's happened the last few days, I'm
they
open-minded.
stomp their feet to like show how quiet their armor is.
Huh. Well,
I've replicated the quiet aspects of mithril in this armor.
I'm back. What I miss?
They're still talking.
And I could alter it further to make a sound dampening field around myself. God, do his eyes go turn sideways?
He is a little wall-eyed at the moment, yes.
Oh no.
This is not an educated man.
Yeah, I can be very quiet, and I'm thinking about going and maybe sinking some of their boats or sabotaging them.
More power to you. We tried to avoid killing any innocent dock workers from it. Most of these people have been pressed into service. Though, admittedly, you'd be overhearing things. A lot of them are grateful for the work. Not a lot to go around here in these far-off lands, and the Barrymores aren't exactly reaching out anymore, especially after what you had told me.
They don't exist anymore.
Apparently not. Have to see what I can do about that.
But yeah, my other question. Your friend? Lieutenant? I'm not sure. The Breaker.
Break. Breaker, what about him? He didn't cause trouble, did he?
No. He has history, obviously. And I would like to speak to him. He seems, I don't know.
I could tell you the history to save you a little time. He won't be telling you much himself.
What is it? What has that man been through?
He's sworn an eternal oath of vengeance to avenge his fallen moot.
His fallen what?
A moot. Suppose it's what you'd call a town among their people. You travel with one. You haven't heard them say that?
I don't think so, no.
Mitch has mentioned it a few times.
The term has been mentioned by Mitch before, yes.
Oh, okay. Then, in that case...
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Hey! Oh. Alright.
Yeah, because I think she's referred to she's
Mhm.
referred to moots as like groups of them, and also her previous.
Yeah,
People.
if she's explained them before, a moot is essentially, it's less like a town or a city and more like the closest cultural equivalent I can think of is the Iroquois Confederation.
Mm-hmm. Because I think, as you kind of established, it's the closest get-together Olgier have when they are primarily solitary.
They largely live on their own in little pockets of the woods, in small groups at most. The moot is just a loose
It's
term
like
for all of them together.
Yeah, it's like their neighborhood, so to speak.
Also, a moot
Neighborhood
could be a
watch.
verb, and where they all gather together for like certain things.
Yes,
Right.
when they all gather together to confer with elders. They are not as sociable as people are. But yes, Vargas continues. His moat's been gone for a very long time, though. They weren't killed by the Reich so much. They were killed when they were from Viscera originally. Verdenmoot. Oath of the Green. Beautiful warriors fought in Kedron's name with ferocity unmatched. Then the queen burned down their forest to build her palace.
Oof.
And the Night Stalkers were sent in to clean up the mess. Because when they found out that many of them were willing participants in beast curses and could turn into bears. Couldn't be trusted to move about on their own in spite of the fact that they'd been as such for centuries.
And had hurt nobody. I grow increasingly wary of... They pause.
I know what you mean.
Humanity.
We're capable of a lot. I barely consider myself one, but I remember I was born one.
I've seen the good they can do, but
We don't do well with power. Not unless we know how it feels to be powerless first. My opinion, we should take up every king we can and throw them in a shit pile for a while and force them to fend for themselves for a year. And force them to live as beggars for a time. Let them see what it's like. Solve quite a few problems.
they just tilt their head and study him for a second. I think I'm going to believe in you.
Glad to hear it. I feel a lot better about somebody watching my son's back.
Yeah, there's watch him as well. If you hadn't noticed, one of them
Aye,
has
but
even
they're also
styled.
scrawny.
That is very true. Yes.
Need someone with appropriate bulk to watch out for him.
Vask, the thickest one in the group, like, hey.
Hey,
My bod
you're
is
thick-
bodacious.
You're thick in that sense. When it comes to fucking
You're thick with two
muscle mass
C's.
and
I'm
shit.
thick with a K.
That's armor, and you know it.
You're a warrior of the mind.
I have 143 HP.
Yeah, it's the scales.
Vask doesn't work out at the gym. He works out
Oh
at
my
the
God.
library.
He
Work
works
out
out in
the-
the kitchen.
If you work out the body,
I
the
do
mind follows, kicking and screaming.
I don't know. I've met some pretty burly chefs lifting all that meat and like bags of flour.
Uh-huh.
Oh no,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. But yes.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
you have to be
But,
strong to like work in a high intensity kitchen like that.
Either way.
God,
Yes.
that's my
Um,
next character concept: barbarian cook.
I mean,
Raven made one of those.
More than one if I remember.
Raven likes eating. So do we all.
so I actually
Make
had
sure.
oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Sorry.
No, I was going to say I almost made the joke earlier. It's like, if we cast heat metal, we could use your armor as a grill.
So, fuck you. But yes, you could. You
It
could
is
also
theoretically
blast,
possible.
Yes, you could also blast me with AOE fire stuff to hit other things, and it wouldn't bother me as much.
Indeed. All right. So
Yeah, make sure you protect yourself along with your people.
I need to keep myself fit for what comes. I know my limits. I have a long time to learn them. But I appreciate your caution. All right, you be on your way.
Alright, I'm gonna go look at I'm gonna go fix up your map. Maybe grab
That'd-
Breaker and speak to him on the way.
Good luck.
Heh.
All right. So you, Gar, meanwhile, you go off looking for
Yeah.
Manha. Is anyone following you, or are you going alone for this one?
He hasn't returned to the tent for it.
I know, but like
Vasquez had
Bara was
followed
following
you
along
and-
with you for the first conversation.
Oh, really?
Ah,
Must have
yes,
missed
was
that.
fast.
I had
Yeah.
I broke off following. I just followed him out of the tent, and then I just kind of wandered off. I'm
So-
Gotcha.
Oh.
I'm wandering around camp right now.
Unsupervised.
Good to know. Oh no.
So if Vask sees that Gar wants some privacy, he'll off and he'll do his own thing.
Yep.
Probably
It's
see
not.
if he can stock up on supplies.
You can help look over everything with that. So it's not hard, fortunately, to find Manha's tent. You can hear the sounds of whining 5-year-olds saying that they're not tired and that they've never been tired in all their lives and threatening to bite people.
That doesn't carry as much weight as you think it is, child. Everyone here is already a werewolf.
Still gonna hurt.
Oh,
They
absolutely.
know they can get away with it too.
Oh god, if Vask got bit by someone here, he'd become a Y-wolf.
God damn it.
Possessed by the spirit of inquiry and in chase of bloodlust. I remember Adventure Time.
Oh yeah.
Yes. You can hear her and see pretty immediately just a chiseled, hardened face of someone who has been through a tour of battle. As the kids finally go inside and settle down. The head just slowly moves your way. Oh, you're still here.
Well, we won't be in your hair for long then.
You need something.
I do. Vargas says that we're kin, the three of us, but how do you feel about it?
She turns and looks up at you. What are you hoping to gain from talking to me?
Well, he claims that you're probably the only honest cleric of Gortog there is, and I would feel a lot better if I knew how you felt about all of that, because that's something very hard to lie about.
So she's your sister. Good lord, man.
Well, like, for one thing to is like he's hoping that for one thing to be true, that would help enable another thing to be true.
Yeah.
It's true, I am. I follow that cause as well I can.
So, what's it like meeting him then?
You've not met him?
I have. I just want to compare notes, and I'm terribly curious now if, because you keep the older ways, that if the relationship's different at all.
What sort of oath have you sworn? You fight in his name.
The oaths I was born or raised under, I have since left those behind. Vider here authenticated a new oath.
Good. Then I actually can answer your questions. Because those are shams. A falsehood. Born to encourage the kind of hatred that order inscribes into people.
Mhm.
I'm relieved to know that they didn't break you that much. That when you got away from them, you were able to be something greater. I'm relieved that you didn't die. I don't know if I could stomach the thought of that, Ken or not.
I'll just go ahead and ask it. All those years he searched for me. Does that mean he left you behind?
The eyes narrow for a moment. When I was too young, yes.
I'm sorry then. That would explain the way you look at me.
It really doesn't. Not fair to you. You don't know. I've had a whole life without you, Driscoll. And no, I am not calling you that brand of a falsehood of a name. No matter how much you claimed it, no matter how much you claim it. I am not raising my children to believe that it's okay to be that way. To be raised to know that you can just accept being shackled and chained and taught that you will never belong to your name itself. I had 20 years of watching him come and go. My father could move mountains. I honestly believed that for a time. Our father, really. Not fair to you in that.
No, speak your mind.
He was possessed by it. So much so that at our time, he was meant to fight much sooner than this. Whatever that meant, and it's hard, very hard, to not blame you.
I would
And that's
understand if you did.
They teach you to show your belly that quick? Or is that just something you grew up knowing for yourself?
I just I would not want to leave this camp as enemies or whatever. I don't expect you to love me. I'm a stranger to you, you to me. I am glad that someone else out there is fighting the good fight and is raising their children well.
I'm right, I am.
To see them, those two, just being children it's good for me.
She does soften a little bit at that. You can definitely sense that there is a lot of conflicting emotion there. It's obvious as it gets. You are an embodiment of a lot of childhood resentment for her, given physical form and suddenly appearing.
Yeah, and probably not making it easy for her to hate him.
No. Look, I've got my own life, my own things to work through.
Yeah.
I was raised among our kind, and I was given a far better childhood than you had. For that you have my eternal sympathy. I believe that you do truly fight for the good cause here. Knowing that you've sworn another oath than the one they taught you, I fully believe it. And that's the only reason I'm talking to you. Make no mistake, brother. I don't trust you yet. You're going to have to earn that. But you have taken steps towards it.
Might I ask you another question?
Go ahead.
Our mother, what was she like?
Beautiful, playful. Seemed more comfortable as a wolf than anything else. Ethereal. That's really all I remember. I try not to think about her too much.
She disappeared too, then.
Aye. Not even a word. Father took me along on a hunting trip.
Yeah.
That she was gone and she took you with her before I even got a chance to know you. You aren't even eating solid food yet.
Yeah, I saw that for myself, as a matter of fact. Visions from Gortog, I guess. Does he do that often to you too? Come to you in dreams or show you things?
At times.
When it's strictly
Never.
necessary, of course.
Oh, yes. Can't have anything clear. Can't have anything laid out with clear, concise instructions, but, mother to twins. I'm used to that. My experience, life is something you make up. The path's not laid out sometimes. Sometimes you gotta pull out your blade and you gotta cut it down yourself. Burn it if you have to. Wow.
Do you think it's possible for one person to reach out to another through dreams like that?
There's magic for it.
Though I may not be the right discipline for it. But any advice you might have in that regard, I would welcome the aid. It would. It's not just for me, it's to help us all.
I'm afraid that's a skill beyond me as well. Sarkosi shamans knew how to do it at times. That's more of a wizardry thing from what I've learned.
Yes, we happened to meet one of those Sarkosi shamans. She was very interested in learning the history of Vargas's tribe.
I wonder why.
From the way she put it, the dead had a story to tell, and she wanted to witness it.
That's very shaman-y. Listen, what are you going to do as you go forward? I know Father extended you the offer of meeting him at the Rainmere again.
He has his path, I have mine. If the paths converge, then... well, if not, then that's just the way it is.
You hold more power than anyone mortal on this world to hurt him.
I'm aware of that.
It took me a long time to get him back. To make him stop thinking and constantly staring at the horizon to find you. I assumed you were dead before I could...
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe it would have been better if I was. And that's... sorry that came out wrong.
I did.
Force a habit.
Work on that.
If nobody was there.
For what it's worth, I am sorry that he neglected you.
He left me in good care. At the very least. I grew up in the Moonhold surrounded by people like me. You said that you met Lusant
I did.
when all this started.
He was the one who put me on this path in the first place, who got me to start asking questions. He was a good man.
You were there when he died.
I was the one who killed him.
Can you give some context to that?
Yeah, he will. I can't tell you too much about my mission. I won't try to burden you with the details, but the thing I'm hunting, the biggest game that I'm hunting, it was his fault. And I swear I will avenge Lusant.
It's hard to hate you.
Well, he reaches down and pets Biter.
As I've been learning lately, it doesn't matter what people feel about you so long as you think your cause is just. Do what you will, sister.
It's a lonely path you're describing. I can't afford to think that way. But... There's teeth and growls for a moment. She steps forward and very forcibly hugs.
Mm-hmm.
It is clear that this is somewhat forced.
Mm-hmm.
Her head almost dents in the armor on your chest a little bit.
Good luck with the tykes.
There's no luck powerful enough in the world for that. They've asked me a lot of questions about their new uncle they didn't know about.
The pups.
Tell me about it. It's a lot to think about.
I'd like to have some answers for them at some time, when we're able.
At that age, I also had a hard time listening to my betters.
Not your betters. I'm sorry.
But
God damn it.
you're doing a good job.
I intend to. I hope you do the same. I won't lie to you. I want you to do well. I want to trust you. If you give me one reason not to,
I understand.
I don't think you do. There is no shadow you can hide in that I will not be able to find you through. If anything, anyone threatens the world I've built, my wrath is absolute.
Go in starlight then, sister.
Deal with that man who's been killing our kind.
I intend to.
How that goes is very much going to determine how I talk to you the next time we meet.
That's code for "Don't disappoint me, little brother."
Mm-hmm.
And she starts walking back towards her tent and gathering things up quietly. Not well.
Mm-hmm. Bows head and leave then. Not gonna make this any more awkward than it really is.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, I had a feeling those were. It would be hard not to resent the little brother dad clearly loved more than you to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not even necessarily that loved more. It's just
Excuse me, sorry.
took him away for a long amount of time.
Yeah,
right.
but
It's
try explaining that to a 6-year-old.
yeah,
So-
that's even if
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
true, that's how it's gonna feel.
Yeah. So just to retcon a little bit, when we all walked up, Vas got the message from Astala back.
You can say that arrived now. It's been less than 8 hours.
Okay. He would just say it over the lake, probably established it over before we left the tent going. Wistala says, after we asked how many died during the attack, she goes, few in the dogfires and some guards to the monsters, but not many others died. Most were just dropped in the lake.
Mm.
So they weren't lying about that.
Alright. Let us convene
Not
again
sure
at
if
the
he's-
tent. We need to formulate our plan.
So the main reason, well, one of the main reasons Hildegard stayed behind, besides being, blindish, And she's basically reviewing the security footage from the various birds she sent out.
Yep.
know.
You're the gal in the chair.
Yeah, because there's Laug who was watching over the burning clearing, trying to listen in on what was going on there. And then there is Raug and the group she sent out around the camp looking for whoever the fuck might be out there,
Mhm.
the hunter.
Yep,
Change your last name to
Potentially anybody
Panoptes.
else. All right, so Laug, with his vision of the clearing, you have seen the garrison has arrived. They are scouring, trying to find as many remains as they can. It is taking a while because it is just a heap of smoke and ash over there now. You faintly overhear talking about this, various expressions of concern and worry about something killing the judges. Some of them are wondering if they'll be reborn and come back. They'd heard tales about it. It turns into a lot of speculation about the nature of the legends of them. There's a lot of fear.
Okay. I was gonna say, it sounds like they use it as almost a casual theological debate. I'm like, that's weird. Is there any talk about who may have done this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's people thinking that it was the wolves. They've seen them around the area in the past, but some people are disbelieving of that, saying that this isn't like them at all.
There's probably a lot of wolf prints around the Vaughn fight scene.
There are definitely some tracks that they are able to find in places that aren't too windswept and covered in ash.
Yeah. Okay, but no one's like, or at least not many people are saying, what about those weirdos in the tower?
No, there's not much discussion about them, but they've been walking for several hours. You can definitely see how tired they all are.
Okay.
Yeah, and as far as the rank and file are concerned, we helped them.
Yeah, but like we still.
We also disappeared around the same time. Left their tower.
No one really saw that. We're still like half a mile out from, or not really that far, but you know what I mean. A ways out.
I mean, nobody saw it. They were with us.
And everybody was watching
Yeah.
and everybody was watching the judges take off. I don't think anyone was paying attention to our side of the.
Yeah, the judges bursting through a thatch roof with flaming wings and flying off in another direction like rockets drew most of the attention.
I don't think anyone with good enough eyes to see us was paying attention to us.
It was also getting dark at the time, so yes, nobody seemed to notice you. No one from the Reich, anyway. Nobody noticed you. They followed and went along.
Plus, if it was a thatch roof they burst through, there was a good chance it caught fire and they had to deal with that or the town catch fire.
Yeah, that was a concern too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Reich are assholes, even to themselves.
That's why jetpacks are impractical.
Well, it's not themselves. It's the Reich of the town they're holding. Maybe the townsfolk are not agreeable. They just are happy for the work.
All right.
Okay. So the other one was just scouting around the camp.
Yeah, just going outwards in a circular pattern, essentially.
Just circling overhead like buzzards. That works pretty well.
Yeah, just trying to get a beat on anything that might be our mysterious hunter person.
All right. No rolls needed for this. You don't see any other figures out on this little peninsula. It's a good ways down a fjord. The town is a good distance off. It would probably, to get here by land, take a good solid almost 3 days of walking.
Okay.
By boat, you could cut a lot of time, but you don't see any boats.
Okay, they almost made it sound like that he was picking them off, like, from their camp. I guess may have been their previous camp then.
Casualties
or during
on the road.
The fight with the Reich.
Yeah, or during the fight, or during travel.
Yeah, but you don't see anything like that near this camp itself.
Okay. All right.
I mean, that would make sense. That'd be the best time for a solitary hunter to pick things off from the group is when they fall behind or get isolated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actual wolf pack tactics versus actual wolves.
I figured he'd be, not far behind, but I guess he's either
We
not that
know
close.
he's somewhere in the woods that like an animal familiar was able to reach judges.
That has a pretty huge range. It's not super fast.
Oh yeah,
but it
that
has
doesn't
enough-
narrow it down, but we know he's somewhere in the area.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Could
he
always
doesn't
augury
have a
it.
bow.
I almost
That we
wonder if
know
he
of.
was. I almost wonder if he was watching the fight between the judges and the wolves.
Very well might have. Don't know.
Because
Right.
I can totally see him bailing the moment that super god shit happened, and he's like, "This is out of my pay grade. I'm fucking gone."
Just throws up his
That's
hands
good.
and starts walking away.
Like,
You don't
Okay.
live to that age unless you know how to pick your fights.
yeah, it's like, let them kill each other.
It's like I'm
right.
technically on their side, but they're pulling some weird god shit. I'm going to just
Because
leave.
Just
Yeah, as-
straight up does a lethal weapon. I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah.
But starts walking off.
Because although he's a very accomplished hunter who has taken down very nastier things than himself, Ernan's just a man. He doesn't even have powers.
Mm-hmm.
He's just really fucking good at what he does.
Okay, then I have my rough reports. Then Julio.
Right.
Oh God,
So
he's
people
Rambo.
are- Very much so. Old man Rambo. So you guys start to gather back in the tent again, find Hildegard sitting there, listening to your
Yeah.
birds mutter, "I'm in," over and over again.
Vask would have tried to restock some traveling supplies. Like they
They'd
probably
be
got some
willing to
good
lend you a
foragers
few. It's
and
a
some
big
hunters,
camp.
so-
They went through a lot of their food stores last night of the things that weren't there, but there's some dried meat and the like. I'd say, let me roll. Actually, make a persuasion check, and that'll impact how much they're willing to give you.
Vask is willing to trade if he has anything that they would want. But yeah,
Hey,
persuasion.
don't you know I'm best friends with your king's boy?
I'll use nepotism. Okay.
Not bad.
Damn.
Very
You know
good.
what? I was making the joke that Vask is going to go shout out the chef to teach them a lesson, but that might actually be part of it. He's like, "Oh, here's how like you could like you cure the meats this way, and it'll stay much better and actually be a little more tender when you
Now
boil
I'm
it,
imagining you as Kronk in that one scene in Emperor's New Groove when he suddenly takes over as a restaurant chef.
I mean, honestly, that would not surprise me. It's just
That
like,
has happened to Vask at least once.
yeah, it's just everyone at the tent. It's like, where's Vask? Someone call him. Just like, yeah, just a second. I'm helping at the camp. At the cooking.
I'm at the canteen.
Sure, because wearing pants, basket's grandma's breakfast, changeable to a kill. Got it.
Yeah, Vasquez half famous because he's a psychic. He's also half famous for taking over people's restaurants.
I mean,
Gummaw gave him very refined taste.
like, remember one of the things he said before he learned that Ichabod was still alive? It's like, I'd rather be known for my cooking than my abilities. And then he learned Ichabod's alive. Well, can't have that dream anymore.
It's like, well, here I go killing again, mind flaying again.
Oh boy.
But yeah, Vask would, if they
Just
need.
puts down the soup spoon like he's laying down his sword in an oath of vengeance.
Did I
to go.
spot Breaker?
Yeah, he's moving around the perimeter of the camp, moving the bigger stuff. He's currently
Alright.
unshifted. I actually noticed that Midge is there talking to him for a moment.
Oh. Well, nobody. Well, they'll approach from like an angle that Midge can see them, so she can like wave them off if she wants to.
Yep. As you approach, you feel your ribs rattle.
Oh.
Make a knowledge history for this.
Okay.
See if you have an immediate knowledge of this. 28. Yep. They're speaking in their native tongue, which is kind of like how elephants do. It is an infrasound a lot.
Oh, it's awesome!
And for Bulgian throat singers must be terrifying.
Oh yeah, no, it can actually make your eardrums pop if they're standing right next to you.
Being able to communicate like that
That's
would make
awesome.
sense if they're spread out over such long distances.
Mm-hmm. That's also why most of them go barefoot.
Oh, okay.
And why they were so terrifying for early humans to fight.
They communicate over vast distances, and all you know is you feel rumbling before, and you know that they're talking about you.
Just like Vietnam, the trees are rumbling.
I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. For some fucking reason, they speak in Vietnamese.
Jesus.
God damn it.
I love that shit. Okay, anyway. They see you coming.
Yeah, they'll walk up. Mitch,
Nobody?
everything. How goes things?
Well enough. I suppose. I was just, learning where the goings on.
Hi. They look to Breaker. How is he looking at them?
More calm than yesterday, for certain.
Okay, good.
But this guy still looks like he could crush a boulder between his thighs. Like, he looks tense. Looks like if you threw something at him, it would break against his abs.
As I understand, like, Midge is plenty big. Like, what's the size difference between Midge and Breaker? Because we've joked before that as large as Midge is, she's not a warrior.
She's a runt, actually. She's like probably just like an inch or two taller. She's like
A beanpole.
6'6", but also a beanpole. Breaker is well over 7.5. He's probably pushing 8. He's on the upper limits of one of their people.
God damn.
Mm-hmm.
He also has a spiraling, somewhat shattered horn growing out of one side of his head.
Yeah, that's odd, right?
You can roll an Arcana if you want to know if you have any book studies on that.
Yeah.
14. All right. You recall that you've read something about that, but Vera Volk history wasn't exactly something that you were interested in at the time. You remember that there is some kind of significance to that.
Okay. Good. I've been working on their map, updating it.
Midge rumbles for a moment to Breaker and then bows her head. He doesn't need translation. It's just
Easier.
It's a long story. But all our stories are.
I suppose they are. I don't think I've ever seen you speak your language before.
Not much reason to. None of you could understand it.
I mean, with time, maybe.
You feel your chest rumble a little bit again.
Ugh.
She's not even moving her lips.
Oh, that's an interesting sensation.
I just told you the recipe for mulberry tea.
Ah, lovely. I'll be to be sure to write that down.
Right. I hear you crack jokes super often. Breaker just looks over and goes, "Is there a reason you're here?"
I was actually hoping to meet you.
Tilts his head in like genuine, why the fuck would you want to do that confusion?
I saw you last night. It's hard to miss, but I don't know. I sent caught my eye, and I was curious. I can see that you have gone through quite a lot. Which is probably an understatement. Oh.
I was posted in general.
Okay. You joke. You
There is
joke.
no. We don't
but
joke here.
They might, maybe a little bit.
Okay, noted. Into bears.
Oh my god.
Look,
Floppy
they
bears
don't even.
specifically.
I'm sorry. You literally was like, "Hey, I saw you last night across the bar, and I liked your vibe."
Yeah. Look, they don't even necessarily know that that's why, but it might be part of it.
You're not. It's not even another reptile.
Well, remember, Draken don't, they don't
Free,
have
free heat
romantic
source.
relationships.
They don't
They don't-
even know what those are most of the time.
Yeah, it's pretty alien to them. So they don't even know how that works or anything. But it doesn't. They're not incapable. It's just alien.
Hmm.
But
Just
yeah, basically
huffs
it was a
out
brick.
air a little. He just huffs out
A
air
brick-
a little bit from his very broad nose.
It was a brick shit house seeing another brick shit house and being, oh.
Your eyes work.
They do. They're good at catching details.
Midge looks and rumbles at him again for a moment. He rumbles back, and she chuckles a tiny bit.
They raise a scaled eyebrow at her.
I'm not sure you'd get it, to be completely honest. Sorry,
Let you not.
I can try.
Go ahead. If you're comfortable.
He's just really confused why you're here. Yes.
I wanted to know your story. I wanted to know what brought you here.
Blood, death, and oath sworn. Fire.
Hmm.
I am here because I have nowhere else to go. I am here because humans burned my moot to the ground for being in their way. We
No
were
big
either
God.
slaughtered or turned into stone. Or
Stone.
decorations.
The tail rattles.
My statues of my kin, warriors, adorn the Queen's gardens.
Is there a way to undo this?
Not easily. And we could not get into that palace if we tried now. But you slayed the one responsible last night.
Oh shit!
Yeah, we were told that apparently Rosalind was Queen Valeria.
Yeah. Oh, Rosalind, yes. Well, then I'll spit on her grave when I see it.
He does not deserve a grave.
She doesn't, but I imagine her people will want to give her one.
And I will find it. One day. I will outlive them. They will forget.
They nod. If I ever come across your people trapped as they are, I will try to free them. I am I am practiced in the correct recreation of magic.
Burdenmoot is no more. They have nowhere to go. But your heart
Mind you.
is stone.
My heart is stone?
He means he appreciates it.
Oh. Thank you.
You travel with Darkwolf's son, taken and
Yes.
raised by enemies. But you killed my enemy. I can accept that.
I do not follow your enemy's oaths. I am finding my own.
Luminance tells me neither does he. He is son of his child.
Test taken from him.
That doesn't really mean the same thing to people like us. We aren't really raised by our parents. Once we're done
Then-
nursing, the elders raise us until we come of age, and then we apprentice under someone.
Then imagine it more being taken away from your moot entirely.
Did you just say
Before
that to the
you're-
man who lost his entire boot?
Yeah, I mean, no, they're getting across.
If I
what-
can
you know.
say some faux pas, so can you.
Yeah, they're getting across. They're trying to get across the, culturally the meaning. Imagine
He
being
rumbles
taken from
like
your
hard enough to where your head, hung over head hurts a
Ugh.
little bit for a moment. Your heart is stone. The day is young. Go be with your
Yes.
pack.
They
He just
they
starts
hand
turning
him
around
that.
and picking up big stuff.
Breaker. They hand him the map. Could you return this to Vargas? I have fixed mistakes and added specifics. It is more accurate now.
He just looks and sees that he's already got like his hands occupied with something really big and heavy.
Maybe later.
He's over there. And just starts lumbering off. At one point, he shoulders just a massive log that was being used for something, and then shifts partially to embrace the weight a little bit more so. The ground actually shakes a little bit as he walks off.
God damn.
Midge sighs a little bit. What an old soul.
Yeah. He's been through a lot.
Yeah,
See it in him.
we spoke for a little bit and shared our own experiences. He first person that's really truly come close to understanding what I've been through in a while, maybe ever.
I imagine that's comforting in a way.
Guys, I've enjoyed the past moons, but at the same time, it's nice to get a little feeling of what was familiar.
They frown. Yes, it is. Excuse me. They kind of quickly extricate themselves.
All right. All right. So, anything else anybody's doing, or are we moving forward?
I
Onward.
think now
at
would
the
be a
tent.
good time to meet up.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all meet up all in the tent, convening in your own time. Vask is wearing an apron and has oven mitts on for some reason.
All right.
Nobody looks at him, but
They're
does
little
not
long.
say anything.
They're shaped like crab claws.
I pinch. But yeah, as soon as Garm comes in the tent, everyone's here. All right. First order of business is getting back our wagon.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I kept eyes on some of the people who investigated the clearing. No one suspects us or the tower of being anything more than travelers.
Not yet, at least.
That's good.
Pessimism aside, we have a decent enough window to gather the wagon and anything else we need and leave.
Yeah. But I'm sure some of us would like to kick the Reich on the way out.
Yes, I've been thinking about that. They're wooden boats.
So have
they're
I.
not
Vass
very.
pinches the crab club. It's
Uh,
You intend to sabotage their docks, don't you?
yeah, they're boats as well.
Well, there's a lot of wood in the area. They'd be completely up the creek without a paddle, but that would slow them
They'll
down.
slow them down. I've altered my armor. They tap the chassis. I haven't used this much, but I'll be stealthier. My intent is to make holes in the ship so they sink, leave some acid in some places to weaken the supports.
I was thinking that I could go to the docks and perhaps disable those. And like he'll hold up the non-gloved hand and the flesh will ripple in that unsettling way. He goes, "I can pretty sure I can draw on some aquatic adaptations, and once I'm there, I could just become that giant crab again."
I still have to tell you what it's like being a giant crab, because that was eye-opening. Anyways,
It is, isn't it?
If nothing
Because-
else, the giant crab would give us an air of deniability.
well, that's exactly what I was leading to my next thing.
Apologies.
So if there's going to be a distraction at the docks, that could be the right time for us to retrieve the tower and wagon.
Yeah, and then we can have a rendezvous point.
Since you can link us, since we're all linked, we can probably
Okay.
find a way to meet back up.
So going
Yes.
that far, some of us could approach the gate and ask for entry.
And out of character, the crab mode that Vask uses is specifically a siege monster, so that would be very useful against the dogs.
Handy.
Yeah,
Wowie. Inchy.
between you and me, I think we can fuck up their shit.
Giant enemy.
Actually,
crab.
Garm pulls the axe off his back, tosses it to nobody.
Double damage to wood.
Yeah, they catch it, but like it is a very awkward catch, and they kind of struggle to hold it up.
I only throw overhand, Charlie.
You okay?
What's this?
It's a lumber axe.
Why this?
Oh, you
You're
weren't
going to
there
be
when Garm.
sabotaging docks and wood.
Nobody. We have
I
to
can't-
regale you sometime of how Garm competed and won multiple competitions to win that.
I can attest it's
Like-
finely made. It will not fail you.
I can't swing this arm.
You can't?
No.
Martial weapon.
Huh.
What kind of axe is it?
It's a great axe.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
No, armor does not have martial
I have simple
proficiency.
weapons. Yeah, I have simple weapons. I can't swing this.
Really?
Is I have. If it wasn't for my artifice, I wouldn't even be able to wear this armor.
Biter just kind of puffs for a moment. It's like, I keep forgetting you're a shrimp under all that.
I am not a shrimp. I am the thickest one here.
Hey,
It's just more
He
in the
just
way
looks
of.
at you struggling to hold up the axe.
It's in the way of, scales and mass as opposed to muscle.
yeah,
Right.
Plus, there's a difference between using an axe for chopping wood and using an axe in chopping people.
Oh yeah, I mean, I suppose I could still bring it with me, but I wasn't intending to get close enough.
If you're doing,
see-
we'll see. We shall see.
You see, they tapped the.
Just giant crab shows up holding that in its pincers. Like,
Super
oh my
pinch.
god. Oh my god.
Oh god, it's like the Samurai Crab game.
Another crab's treasure.
I love that one.
It's a very good.
I want to play. I want to get it.
You should.
It's
Um,
cute. It's cute and makes you
I
hate
intend-
capitalism.
Good. I mean, I already hate capitalism, so I'm halfway there. They hold up their gauntlet that was the big punchy fist before. It's how would I describe how this looks now?
It's a mace.
No, it's
Amazing.
it's neither. It's it's, would it be too much to have it be a Mega Buster?
You know what? Sure. Why not?
Look what you've done.
It has to make the Mega. It has to make the OG Mega Man sound effects when you fire it, though.
Absolutely.
So you plan to do something with your artifice?
I'm going to shoot it.
Well, whatever sinks their boat.
That is the intention, yes. If they're within range, I'll use my acid because that can eat away at things over time. But I'm trying to be, stealthy about this, so that's what this is for. This version of this model of my armor deafens sound even more. Are you looking wall-eyed, Garm?
He's
Like
just
your father?
well, unlike his father, he was not raised in a cave.
True.
And he's been traveling with you. You've explained it to him. No, he's more surprised of you're actually a shrimp.
They're not a shrimp. Oh my god. They have a fucking 18 constitution, thank you.
Yes, that is much higher than Garb's, but he my point stands. He's surprised that you being a big dragonborn
doesn't know how to swing an axe.
You're
Not
reevaluating
many
your
trees
internal
underground.
image of them a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Because as far
Oh,
as
they're not-
up until now, he has mostly seen you as a physical equal. But then it's like, wait, there are things there are things I'm capable of that they're not. This is weird.
A voice
That
echoes in your head.
But then he
They're
thinks
not-
about it for a moment. His eyebrow does quirk for a moment, as if like you could visibly see the thought enter his brain.
On second thought, that makes total sense. You literally grew up under a rock. There would be no trees.
That is both a very apt point, but also, for some reason, it makes me angry.
Would it make you less
Microaggression.
angry? Would it make you less angry to know it was a very large rock?
I know what my. Anyway, my point is, I'm going to use this, which will combine the sound being dampened already, in addition to a field that will nullify the sound. Hopefully, I'm going to sneak up and shoot their boats until they sink, while a crab is rampaging.
If you're providing oversight for Overwatch for Vask, who's watching your back? We know Hernan's in those woods.
Ideally, I won't need it because I'm going to be stealthy, but my armor is no less protective while it's like this. So if Hernan does show up, I will.
Do not engage.
I'll punch. Damn. I was gonna say I'll punch him and tell him you're looking for him.
That's not the first impression I'd want to set, so thank you for your restraint.
By the way,
I was
Garm,
kidding.
anytime you're ready, I can send a message to Hernan. You want to meet him somewhere? On your own choosing, that is.
Timing all of these to go at roughly the same time isn't a bad idea.
Hearing
If he accepts.
hearing a stranger's voice in his head saying, "I know your boy," is probably not going to put him in a good mood.
Well, I could also follow that up saying, sorry, didn't want to pay 500 gold to send a message to you when I could just do it myself.
I'm sorry? 500 gold?
I don't know how
Yes.
much it was. It was some exorbitant amount.
It was
Yes,
a lot.
turns out Wizards of the Post is a scam.
Fuck, I forgot that's what they were called. Shit.
I did too.
I am not trusting their messaging service again.
God.
So that would leave Hildegard, Farr, and possibly myself to retrieve the wagon.
Sensible. You've got at least one person that can get into a physical scrap and one for magic in each team.
Aye.
You've got the birds for Overwatch. That works well.
Mhm.
I think I need to go into town and speak to my brother, though.
That's right,
You'll
we're
be
taking your
heartbroken
brother
if
with us, aren't
if
you?
there is no chance.
I don't.
Maybe
What are we
you
going to
could
do about your brother?
Perhaps you could call him out to the tower as you're getting the carriage ready.
I have not thought that far ahead. But he can't stay here. Not with anti-Reich sentiments hitting a peak. And he needs to know exactly what he signed up for.
It is a noble goal, but what if our hand is forced? And we have to
Well,
leave without him.
And I'll go alone.
No, you won't.
Yes, I can.
They give
And I can.
they give Garm a little bit of a harsh look.
I'm not trying to cut a reunion short.
It's not about the reunion. It's about leaving him in a terrible situation.
Yes, I don't want to say anything bad about our friend, but imagine if it is Jeddah who runs across him next.
Yeah.
This Jeddah person sounds extremely volatile.
Oh,
You two
you
would have
two would
hated
hate
each
each
other.
other. Probably have come to
would.
blows like within the first week.
It's not just about Jeddah. It's about what if Vargas or one of his pack ran across a lone Reichman? Of course they'd take out a possible threat. It just makes sense.
I'm gonna take the
Uh,
body so he couldn't be revived.
An angry villager tired of being oppressed sees a young and impressionable man and leads him away to get stabbed in a back alleyway. One of his superiors uses him as bait against a monster so he can run away.
Or against you now that they know you're related.
Only those in this town know, and they won't know for long.
What is the plan here, Hildegard?
I don't have one. I'm just going to
Alright.
go and talk to him. And if I have to go over those walls, I'm going over those walls. And I can do it very easily. Just she says it as Raug finally returns, lands on his shoulder, and just like a sigh of relief because like, oh, I can finally see, you know.
Just don't go where we can't follow you, okay?
I won't, but I can't completely promise that. I don't know where I'm
Alright,
going.
Alright then, how about this, Hildegard? I'll be doing my sabotage. Vask will be a crab. I have range. Once it looks like things are appropriately sabotaged, I'll find you.
Can I can I have like 20 minutes to talk to him before? Because I have a
Yes.
feeling. I
I
have
was
a
about to
feeling.
suggest, if you're going to do that, you might want to go in first.
I have a
Yeah.
feeling that talking to him in the middle of an emergency won't work.
Yeah.
He's going to go towards the screaming to help.
That is true.
Ah,
All right, then. Then the next thing to figure
I'll have
out is how we're leave this camp and get there.
I'll have the link at least to keep us coordinated.
I don't imagine. Did anyone see if they packed up the boats? I don't know.
We have our own boat.
the pack.
That we do. All right.
Which where did you get that boat, by the way?
Oh,
Wizard.
yes, a wizard. Well, actually, I had nothing to do with it. A wizard that this group dropped down the flight of stairs.
You say that as if you're not part of the group.
Oh, I know. It's just like I always said that we dropped him, and it's like, wait a minute, I'm innocent of that debacle.
Let's just get this going. We can't burn
I-
any more daylight.
Yeah, and for
So-
me at least, darker the better.
Yeah.
If
So
ideally, I would like to try and coax my brother outside the walls. Maybe I can tell him to meet us up at the tower, and
Not a
he
bad
can see us
idea.
off. He can
You
see
can
us
send a
off.
message for that much.
Yes, and that
And-
gets him out. Hopefully, by the time everything goes wrong.
and it would give us a believable story because it's like, yeah, we're heading out. We have a contract we need to keep to.
But still, give me 20 minutes to talk to him at least.
Oh, yes. We won't move until you say that, once you're satisfied speaking with him.
God. The gods.
Although it will probably take the three of you longer to get there on foot. Or wait. Can we go to the Breveland map?
Sure.
Just so we can strategize.
This does lead to
Yeah.
another question. What if all this chaos goes down or happens? What will you do if Hernan or the hunter decides to join in and hunt this crab? Or
Then I'm going to have to fight my father.
Oh, well, if they try to hunt a crab, I'll turn back into a human, turn invisible, and fly away.
And if I
Solid.
see him first, I might be able to get a, hey, your son is looking for you.
Right.
Is there anything we could say that would be telling that we know you?
I think just calling him by name, Hernan of the Night Stalkers.
No, it's just. Look, Hernan was. He's never been a very sentimental man. He was already of the opinion that I was going astray, I don't know. Just don't try to hurt him too badly.
I don't intend to hurt him, Garm.
I
If he attacks me, I'll defend
You have
myself.
a right to defend yourself.
if we run into him, nobody for the two of us, let me try speaking with him first.
Of course.
You?
You know Garm closer than I do.
Don't sound so shocked.
What?
Eh,
The way
Garm's
Gar went,
disbelieving. You at Vask offering to talk first.
It's not disbelief in your abilities, it's what you're becoming.
As you
That's a
say,
really
he
fucking good
he
point,
is
actually.
okay. Either way,
Okay, well, he is
Mhm.
still visibly human when you look at him.
yeah. I thought Vask's mutations beyond the tattoos weren't super apparent. He's
They're
just
not. You have to
Yeah.
trigger them.
he's
Oh,
flashy.
absolutely. Just, I mean, in the sense of, consider it from Garb's perspective, in that, that weird feeling every child has, where they think my parent knows everything.
Also, Vask is also, he would point out, it's like, well, now I know Hernan doesn't have divine sense, so I'm good.
He is just a man.
I mean,
You
Vask
keep saying that, Garm.
I'm just very conscientious of what can hurt him.
So, do we take the boat across the bay, drop you off, and then we go underwater once we're closer? Because my transformations only seem to last 10 minutes, and I want to make sure I'm not wasting it.
Yeah,
I
that's
Although-
can't
the right thing
breathe
to do.
underwater. Can you breathe underwater, Vask?
Not at the moment.
Squints.
Like I said, I'm becoming more like a changeling, apparently. The flesh is only a suggestion.
Changelings can't grow gills.
Okay, maybe I'm becoming something else.
Although I suppose we didn't know they could become
Although,
aware.
you're right.
Either.
Changing wasn't the best thing, because I can't change this. And he just like gestures to his tattooed face.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and I have to make sure. This is more Vask internally to himself. Oh, right. When I turn into a crab this time, can't be colorful and ostentatious. Can't be
Let's-
glowing.
Yeah,
All right,
I
let's get
can't
going.
breathe. I can't. Yeah, this is gonna be as we're going. I can't breathe underwater, Rask.
Then take
And
out
Vask will
position.
just kind of like slowly turn to you. It's like, I thought that's what the whole point was. That we would be attacking from the water.
Well, no, my point was I have an extremely long range to use this.
Out of eyesight range?
300 feet, man.
That's a football field. You can still see someone at the end of the football field.
Yeah, but
These
I'm
are
also,
woods, though. Firing from
and
cover
I am
would help.
also, magically stealthy now.
Hmm.
No, Vask, my intent is to keep a distance and pepper their boats until they're sinking.
Best of luck with that. Best of luck to us all.
All right, so how exactly are we going to approach that? Is my question. It's going to take days to walk there. Are we going to borrow one of their boats, use our own? Is there a point of cover we're going to come in through? Because they're going to see a boat coming from a long ways off.
Yes.
Well, that's
what
why
my
I-
concern was.
Yeah, that's why
So-
I thought we would be approaching under the water. So
Not all of us could do that. You want to line this up, you got to time it right. Fortunately, the cover of darkness is probably your best bet. That gives
Yeah.
them a
Yeah,
lot more time to come back. Or you just head that way, take the card, and leave. No sabotage needed. If you want to include that, that's going to complicate this.
Aye.
yeah, we could be overthinking about the sabotage because
Maybe.
I guess we weren't all aware of each other's plans.
That would be very hard to coordinate, and there's lots of lumber around. If we go through all the effort and danger of trying to sabotage these docks, which, yes, it's a good point, but just how quickly you think they'll be able to recover it?
Okay, you know what? Hildegard is going to go inside to get her brother, yes?
Ideally.
I'll go inside as well. I'll
Or-
accompany you to fetch your brother, and then I'll do some of my sabotaging and meet you back outside the wall.
That's
Oh,
if
exactly.
they're going to let us in the first place, and her brother just
If they
doesn't
let us
come
in,
out.
yes.
Yeah, the judge's last commands were to keep us out. So
Considering we have other judges on the way, let's keep this simple. Let's leave the docks alone. I prefer to get away from this scot-free.
But I wanna.
You heard
I
what
know, I
Vargas said.
understand. I want to smash things too.
You heard what Vargas said. It's like, Rosline pushed us to the brink, and she was one of the weakest. We wait for the cover of night, they might show up. I don't know how fast they'll move, and if they have to... Let's just get our wagon, get out, and talk to Hildegard's brother. Play it safe.
Sometimes discretion is the better part of valor.
Mhm.
Aye.
I don't have any valor. I just want to make things harder for them.
Also consider the possibility that even if you manage to sabotage them, the Rambler's not that fast.
Yes,
Yes.
they would be on our tail.
That is true.
So we play it simple then.
Look, you kill the judge. Let that be enough for you.
So, question: when we get the Rambler, because we would be heading off once we get it, and wrap up business in Coswell, are we heading to Ensom on the way to Golmoda?
That's the only way out. I'm not staying any longer here in Breedland.
Yeah, I'm just
I've-
asking because I selfishly want to be by the coast in a week.
What happens
we
in a
can-
week?
Glowentide.
Glowentide.
There's no reason we can't. Really.
Gesundheit.
You
We
could
don't have to leave
easily,
the coast.
you could pretty easily park it in Ettinsum for a while.
Yeah.
It's a pretty remote little place.
Because it would take most of the week to get there, if I remember right.
Traveling
Okay,
on
had
these
the map.
coastal paths, yeah, it would take you several days. Like, let's see. Yeah, if you booked it, you could make it there in 4 days. You travel at a more leisurely pace, it'd take 5 or 6, depending on if you were waylaid.
That's fine. That sounds fine to me.
Yep.
Yeah. So much for sabotage, and I activated my stealth and everything.
You can blow up anybody who chases you.
Nobody versus anybody.
God damn you.
What you're. It's good to know that you're capable of that, though. If the opportunity arises next time, then by all means.
Let's go.
Any gain of just sabotaging the docks would not be worth the loss of anyone.
You don't need to convince me more, Garm. Let's go.
Think of it as a compliment. He feels compelled to convince us.
If I truly didn't care, I would say, go ahead, do it, bet.
So, fastest way would be to take the
Yeah.
folding boat across the bay again.
Yeah.
Use that boat.
All right.
I think Vargas wanted to talk to you though before we left.
He did indeed request that.
Oh, he'll peel off and honor that wish.
As you guys are getting out, you realize that some members of the camp are waiting for you guys to finish, and they immediately start packing up his tent.
Apologies.
Sorry.
Complicated plans.
They heard.
It's not hard to find him. They're all largely. It looks like most everything has been packed up and assembled at this point.
You wish to speak with me?
Only if you will it.
By all means.
All right. Yeah. He leaves the work for someone else and starts pacing off towards the outskirts of the camp.
Private enough for you?
Enough, I suppose. Oh, now I don't even know where to start.
I spoke with Mana. Intense. Though, has all the right in the world to be.
She got that from me. I hope she wasn't too rough on you.
No, she
Not in-
was as gentle as could be, given her
Yeah.
position.
Don't have to lie, boy. The girl's stare could scare off a mountain cat.
Maybe, but I understand why she clearly had to grow up on her own.
Another failing of mine.
She has you now. Driscoll, was it?
Aye. It was. Well, that's history now.
Aye. Did Mother ever tell you her name?
Once. I honestly suspect she might have been lying. Climate
Well,
creatures and their names.
names are an important thing over there. I know this can't be easy for you.
Speak for yourself. Thrust a lot on you. You've had a lot thrust on you already.
That's just the way of this world. Nothing's ever simple.
Indeed not. I lost a chance to be your father. But had I the chance, were I able to look on the you I see now, I don't think I could have done much better. Everything taken into account.
The man who raised me is as much bad as he's done. I owe a lot of my good to him too. I think you would know a thing or two about that, having complicated nature.
Indeed. We'll be leaving soon. I'd like this to not be the last time I see you.
Likewise.
The legends of the Rainmere speak of a trial. And not a pleasant one either.
If it was, everybody would be doing it.
Indeed. I know the risks. You give your own path, your own enemies stand. But if you were there, I think I'd have a much better shot at everything.
Well, who knows? Our paths may yet converge.
You've got feet, boy.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose where you walk.
Aye. But, I think we both know that there are some things you can't walk away from.
Ah. 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing well.
Keep the family safe, then.
Your pack as well. He turns around, puts both hands on your shoulders. Walk tall, boy.
Well, that's not hard next to you.
He shifts up to his full height.
Wow.
And I suppose
Puts a
it would
paw
be-
on your head and ruffles your hair a little. You owe me at least one.
I do owe you something. It would be cruel to let you go without seeing it.
I'll shift down to full wolf mode.
Aw.
He starts crying again, shifts back to himself.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you know that thing wolves do where they get up on their hind legs, put their arms on your shoulders, and just start licking the face?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The wolf certainly does that.
Mm-hmm.
Once he's done with that, he'll sit down and then trot off to join his group.
He just watches you go for a bit, then.
Is
Let's
Garm
go
still a
back.
wolf?
Yeah, he's still a wolf and he comes back.
No. He gets scritches under the chin.
He walks back into the
Yeah.
camp. As he's walking past the lot of you, just take care of him, Unbowed.
Oh, yeah, I might have told him what you called yourselves.
Oh, someone else did that before you.
Damn.
The shore of
what
the
was-
Periton, a light nearby.
Right.
You see
But yeah,
Midge
yeah,
is over there.
nobody...
Midge has actually been speaking with them for a little bit now.
We'll certainly do our best.
That's a good question. If Midge will go with them, since she is the Sun Eater.
I mean, she's ride or die with us now.
It's
Yes,
up to her
but-
where she goes.
It's up to her.
I
Mhm.
mean, yeah. Yeah, we'll wait for Midge.
Just, Hildegard would just give a nod to Vargas. Just like, yeah, we'll keep him safe.
He has
He starts
me.
walking.
What that counts.
Don't
Been
drink
making
so
sure he-
much.
I've been making sure him and the rest have been eating properly. I'll make sure they keep at it.
Is this where Vasquez? You should have seen your boy when I found him.
Yeah,
Skin and
he's saving
bone.
that. He's saving that chastisement for Hernan.
Yeah, it's fair because this one didn't raise, Garm.
I don't make any promises about that. It was nice having my mind not running a mile a minute for once.
Let me introduce you to something I have growing in my herb garden later.
Oh boy.
Not always tobacco he's
And you're-
smoking out of his pipe.
Oh no! Don't make
Oh,
the
no.
aspiring chronomancer high.
Like, I always assumed Vask was a bit of a weed fiend, but like, yeah.
I mean, the joke is, it's like he smokes to regulate his emotions because, when you're a powerful telepath / telekinetic,
Mhm.
uncontrolled emotions is a problem.
Life is full of highs.
Just one day, just like, Vask, are you toking up again? You just, weed? Opium. What? Nothing.
I don't know. I haven't given it a name yet.
Just know that you fucking fly, man.
Oh, God. The weed that grows on the blasted heath, do not smoke that.
Oh, Vargas steps into the midst of his kindred. Nods, grunts,
Aw.
growls. Several of them are beginning to shift.
Wish we had more time with them.
Such is the way of us road warriors.
Good
Too many
chance we'll
things
meet
in
them
motion.
again. Sorry, Hildegarde.
Just gonna say too many things in motion.
That breaker, he's no, he is exactly as intense as he looked last night.
Pretty
Well,
hot, huh?
Just turn to Vask. What?
Yeah, that Hildegard and nobody at the same time. What?
Oh, that was supposed to be an inside thought.
Ah, shit, that's a mental line.
I mean, he wasn't on fire.
Sure. Not my business to give the sexless being sexual education.
All right, so there's a bird and a bee. What are
At
they
least
doing?
not this campaign.
All right. The group suddenly all begin to howl, echoing out across the
Oh.
entire peninsula.
Vask just turns and looks to Biter. Was that
What?
about not howling?
Oh, you'll see.
Oh, look, howling.
What?
And a nearby copse of trees begin to writhe and shift, their branches tangling together into the shape of an archway. And a bright panel of light emanates from between them, forming a vision of a technicolor landscape beyond.
Oh.
And the werewolves all just begin bounding through it as quickly and as forcefully as they can.
Quick, everyone rush it.
No! I don't want to get
wanna-
lost in time again!
Don't want to keep that door open for too long, lest
Oh,
something
there's a
get out.
chronomancy test for you.
See how time
make sure
works
we-
in the land of the Feywild.
No!
Make sure we show up when we left.
Oh, God.
You see other things, the parrotins beginning to fly through. Vargas is holding his wolf form. He's watching everyone go. You see the two kids run through. You see Manha and her husband. You see Breaker, and you see all these others. Turns and looks at the lot of you, nods, bounds through, and the second he's through, it's gone. And the trees, it's as though they never moved at all. Midge paces over. Oh. So where to?
To retrieve the Rambler.
You know, it might just
I would-
because of the,
Sorry.
just Vask could just comments like might be because of the whole Witchwood experience, but I don't trust any tree that moves anymore.
You shouldn't.
Oh,
I wanted to do some sabotaging, but that was apparently a bad idea.
I mean, I
Days
was right there
young.
with you, but
Day's young. Who knows? You may get your chance.
It's not entirely off the table. Or does that make you feel better?
I'm fine, Garm. I'm not.
I'm down
Just
one
worried about
creature, but I'm technically down two, but you need a distraction. Well, I've got two pretty good options.
We need to find you some more companions, don't we?
Oh, I'll find something.
oh,
I can't
does Mitch
resist.
still have the Sun Eater?
Yes, it is. You can still see that colorful string of beads. You're left with the parrot then.
I'm not sure how to feel about the fact that that was not a creature. That was a man.
So,
I was once
Turns
a
out-
man.
turns out, he was more on our side than we expected, huh?
Oh, an enemy. Relieved, honestly. Though I do have to say, you are going back to Galmada, you very likely are going to have to pass through my home. That reunion's probably not going to go as well.
Yeah.
I said I'd help you all
Oh.
for all this. Sure you want to deal with that?
Of course.
We're not going to abandon you. You're a part of us.
Didn't say abandon.
Midge is just trying to say that they know best the sort of drama we would be walking into.
And if we ever approach another dragon horde, you have to deal with that drama with me. So,
Oh, so. You know, Vargas offered for me to go with him. As you all start walking. At the end of the day, decided if you two get attacked by a judge, best to have something that can actually hurt them there with you.
That's a good
Aw.
point.
Besides,
I-
told you, I do miss the Glamourlands, but arms around as many of you as she can at once. I love you guys.
Oh,
Aww. And I care for you as well, Midge.
Not as much as you do for Breaker, though.
What?
What the
Just turns what?
What do you mean? Yeah. What?
Just half-lidded eyes looks over. It's like, down bad, that one.
What? What are you talking about?
You practically salivated at the sight of him.
I did not. Why would I do that? That's disgusting.
Var-
Yeah, it
Sure.
sure is disgusting.
Vara just has her hand over her face, just like, I'm not even gonna. I will not be the one to describe what is going on here.
There is a look
They
of
are-
profound confusement on Hildegard's face. The fuck?
Vara and Corrado, both their characters, like, please don't make me explain mammal mating rituals.
I will not.
What are you talking about, Mitch?
You were Twitter-pated.
What?
Enamored. You were admiring him with your eyes.
Yes. He was intense.
Just gestures at everyone. Right?
Hard squint at nobody now.
What?
Maybe we should rename you Wants to Be Broken.
Oh my god!
Vara turns and looks at her like, are you. She doesn't say anything. She just gives her the hardest side eye she possibly can. Like, holy shit. Do
That's
not say that
actually
because
does
then
just
she'll
laugh.
fucking ask about that, and then I'll have to explain the concept of wanting to be spanked during this entire thing, which she doesn't
Oh
even
my
understand
God,
the
no.
first thing.
Hildegard
What are you-
shoots Midge the widest eyes with a slight blush to her cheeks. Like, what the fuck?
Vara just
I
came
mean,
out
you
of
all met
college.
Wick. I can't give any advice.
Vara literally
I'm
just came out
very
of college. She knows exactly what the fuck is going on.
I am very. What are you? I feel like I'm missing some context here.
Maybe we'll see him again and he'll help you figure it out.
Oh my god.
Mitch, are you trying to start trouble?
Pinches her fingers together in a little bit sort of way.
Maybe.
What? I
Just gives a playful smack on the not exactly shoulder because she can't reach that high, but like back, lower back.
nobody looks. Like just looks around like I don't understand.
All
What
right.
are you insinuating, Midge?
That you
You'll
wanna-
figure it out in time.
There
Oh,
was-
look, we have traveling we need to do.
It's a good thing that Midge cut Vara off there because she was about to say, because you want to fuck. And she stops mid sentence, going, "No, I'm gonna, no, I should stay out of this. This is."
I'm gonna let the mystery steep for a while, like mulberry tea.
Well, there you go again. You mentioned that earlier.
There's a lot of things you don't know yet, clearly.
Narrows eyes.
Okay.
A challenge.
Hey, we found some water. Let's unfold this boat.
By all means.
Let's get the hell out of here before I have to.
Maybe I'll find a weird fish.
Maybe she'll catch the catfish.
Oh my god.
All right, so embarking in the folding boat.
You know, one way we could get into town is just pull up to the docks and be like, get into town that way.
There'd be a
That
lot
would
of
be
questions.
very obvious, though.
We'd probably
That it
shot
would.
a lot before we even got there.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll land and up the beach a ways or up the coast a ways and come back.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
And next session, we'll find out what comes of it.
Ah.
Okay.